Things were going terrific for this Philadelphia Phillies team in game one of the NLDS until they weren't. Me and Luke are here to break down exactly what went wrong as this Phillies team now faces with its back against the wall, down 0-1 in the NLDS and on the brink of a really rough outlook for the series. So I kind of dropped my rant discussing my initial feelings, my frustration with just about everyone not named Kyle Schwarber or Zack Wheeler on this Phillies team, how there needs to be some hard looks in the locker room, but we're here to check in with Luke and figure out where the fixes need to come. So Luke, to throw it to you right off the bat here, what's your vibe check with this Phillies team after that frustrating loss yesterday?
Yeah, I was in bad shape last night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Just like you just can't go out and do that. Like you can't lay a dud. You can't have Zack Wheeler's made 270 starts. I think that was his best one he's ever had. He does that. Kyle Schwarber starts the game with a home run. That place is going absolutely berserk
Yep.
after Kyle Schwarber hits that home run. And then you go out and lay a dud for the next 8 innings. It just, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care about the shadows. I don't care about who's pitching. I don't care if it's fork balls from Kodai Senga. Like, you cannot do that. And they did. And now their backs are against the wall. They're the underdog in this series now. I believe they're like plus 190 to win the series now. Like they're pretty significant underdogs now. So I don't know. Will they? I hope they don't sort of embrace this underdog thing. I hope they still treat themselves like the favorites because they should still win this series. They are the better team. They just really didn't play like it yesterday. I mean, you can look at those stats on there. Trey, Bohm, Castellanos, Stott, JT. Did any of them have a hit? Like, not one of them had a hit all day. You're not going to win like that. It's obvious they're not throwing Bryce Harper a ton of pitches. Those first two at bats yesterday, they pitched all around him. They didn't give anything for him to hit. That one at bat wasn't great, but it's one at bat. Like, he's not seeing anything. Alec Boehm has to come through. Nick Castellanos has to come through, and they just didn't. So it's like incredibly frustrating because if I would have said to you on Friday, what is your ideal way of starting this game off?
Yep.
It's a 1-2-3 inning from Zack Wheeler and a leadoff home run from Kyle Schwarber. And I would have told you they would have won by 7 runs. And they lost by 4.
Yeah. No, 100% there. That Wheeler, I agree with you. I think that was the best game that we've seen him pitch, at least in a Phillies uniform. And there's been some good ones. The bar's pretty high for that there. And Kyle Schwarber, the leadoff home run, I thought was necessary to this team. That it was a bit of a sigh of relief that you're in the driver's seat for the entire game. And then really it just fell apart, especially with, we talked a ton on this channel about why the bullpen is different this year, why there was a huge source of optimism. Jeff Hoffman and Matt Strahm, they've been awesome all year, and they just crumbled at the biggest moment there. This is a Mets team that's scrappy, man. They're going to play all 9 innings. They're going to fight for every last out that they have. They've proven that throughout the second half of the seasons and so far in this playoffs. They got to be locked down from start to finish. So for me, I think I kind of assign blame for two areas. It is the bullpen because that's still an inexcusable performance, even though I understand how good you've been all year. The playoffs are the playoffs, and that's what you're going to be judged by. And then it is the bats. And to me, that's the larger reason here, is that Zack Wheeler was screaming for any sort of run support throughout the entirety of that game and just did not get it. So heading into this game, I'm with you, specifically with Bryce Harper. Nick Castellanos, you got to make him pay, man. That's the reason that you get paid the big bucks while you're in the 4 spot, is that if they're not going to pitch to Harper, you have to be capable of punishing them. So I do think that it falls mostly on the bats. Would you say that's the largest reason for blame yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, you can look down that lineup again. They like 4 through 8 was what, like a combined like 0 for 18.
Yeah.
Like, it just can't happen. Like, I it is like incredibly frustrating. Because like that wasn't the case. And like, I get it. Like, there's been the thing the last week where, or these last few weeks, where everyone's been like, this team can't hit, blah, blah, blah. No, this team can hit. It's just they have these games where they just lay absolute duds.
Which can't happen.
And no, and it can't happen, especially in a game one where you go up 1-0 and the stadium's freaking rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
on
right.
the screen. Mets hitters before the 8th inning, they're 1 for 21, and then they were 4 for 4 in the 8th inning. I mean, like, And I'll say it's tough because Matt Strom and Jeff Hoffman just have to be better. But like that is just like such an outlier. I mean, you haven't seen something like that all year. Like
Yeah,
that is legitimately, it took two of those guys to get two outs.
crazy.
Like that's those have been two of arguably the best relievers in baseball this year.
Yeah,
And I will say this, I don't want to hear a word about anything negative about Rob Thomson today
agreed.
because what the heck is he supposed to do?
The,
He had his ace out there who threw the best start of his life. He puts his best two bullpen arms in after he ran his ace to 113 pitches and they could barely get two outs. And he had his best possible lineup out there and they had two freaking hits through 7 innings and it was the same guy.
yeah.
Like he did everything perfect yesterday. It was just an utter lack of execution.
Yeah, no, I'm in total agreement there that like the script, the game plan was exactly what you wanted it to be. That the pathway to a win was established. It was there. The team was going down it, and they just did not step up and deliver. It is an outlier performance, but that's one that like is gonna stick with us with Hoffman and Strom.
Yeah.
Those have to be your money guys, and that's how this team is built from a playoff standpoint, this bullpen standpoint. They've been the guys all year, and they need to continue to be. Now, the one thing that I can't have here, and we kind of went pretty hard on the Braves and all other teams for the excuses in past years. I don't need to be hearing about these shadows and taking extra bullpen. I understand that there's some credence to it because of the change in game time, because of you can lay out the center field issues or whatever the case may be in Citizens Bank Park. But the reality is both teams are playing with this same kind of situation. So I did not love seeing these quotes after the game, Luke.
No, yeah, I can't. That's one of those things that you gotta just
Can't say.
you gotta keep to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't say that out loud. I will say they've said many times in the past, and they said yesterday that those 4 o'clock games they get a little dicey with the shadows. It's when the infield is lit. Sorry, the infield is dark and the outfield is lit. They say it's very hard to see the ball, which I get. Like I get it. If it's hard to see the ball, it's hard to see the ball.
It's dicey for the Mets too.
But it's the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like figure it out. You play 81 games at this stadium. You play probably about 24 o'clock games. I think you got to be somewhat used to them by now. And I mean, you just can't say that out loud.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It's not an excuse. It's the farthest thing from an excuse. Like you have to go out today. The shadows are going to be there today. It is sunny outside. There's not a cloud in the sky. The shadows are going to be there. Like it's just going to happen. Like if they go out today and they can't hit for the first 6 innings because of shadows, I'm going to be on the news. Like it is going to absolutely destroy me. But like bottom line is you just can't say that out loud.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And kind of the last point I want to hit on with this team from more of a tactical standpoint here. For starters, as far as letting down Wheeler, this is just embarrassing stuff from a Phillies team here that Zack Wheeler has made 3 NLDS starts with the Phillies. He's pitched a combined 19.1 innings in those starts and has only allowed 8 hits and 5 earned runs, a 2.32 ERA. The Phillies have lost all 3 of those games. That is embarrassing stuff, not backing up your ace, with Wheeler very clearly doing his job, doing exactly what you would ask for him. Now, where my conversation shifts to you, Luke, is we've talked a lot about the pitching matchups in this series. Both you and I have been in favor of Christopher Sanchez taking the ball for Game 2 and stepping on the mound. The situation changes a little bit here. I felt really good about the Christopher Sanchez outlook when the worst case scenario would be splitting 1-1 and heading to New York. A little more pressure when you're down 0-1 in a series and this very clearly being a must-win game. How do you feel about Sanchez still getting the rock, and do you think it should have been Nola now?
No, I mean, because it's hard to go back and change. I mean, you obviously can't say, "Oh, Nola's going to start now because we lost." But I will say this: that was, I think, the only gamble of starting Sanchez Game 2. Listen, I still agree with the decision. I still, God forbid you win today, I'd rather have Aaron Nola go into Citi Field tied 1-1 than I would have Christopher Sanchez.
Sure.
And that's kind of where I'm at because, listen, I think one game at a time, but there comes to a point where now you got to start thinking about Game 3 too. And if you win today, you have to have your best possible arm out there. It's not Zack Wheeler, and that's Aaron Nola. So it stinks because this was this was the only situation in where that decision could have been a shaky one. And I
How it
guess
played
here
out.
we are.
Yep.
So here we are, play ball. You gotta hope Sanchez gives you a gem.
Yeah.
But I mean, bottom line is like you have to come out and just kill them today.
Yep.
Like you can't win a 2-1 game. You can't take a 1-0 lead into the 7th inning again. It just can't happen. Like you have to go out and crush the baseball today.
Absolutely. The bats need to come alive. This team needs to deliver. So before we wrap up here, Luke, what is the official prediction or hot takes here? Do you have any players that you're shouting out to step up? What's your final score? What do you got? Where's your head at?
Yeah, I mean it's got to be Bryce. Like I need a big game for Bryce today.
Who, by the way,
Like
like he didn't see a lot of pitches. He is not a guy that's
yeah,
in my
no, I mean
med
and this
category.
is the thing. He's not going to.
Yeah.
They after that, they're gonna only give him less pitches
Yeah.
today.
Hit a double.
Which is sucks,
Yeah.
but that's just how it's gonna be. So I need Bryce. I need Nick Castellanos and Alec Boehm. Like you have to win. Like they have to be winning baseball players today. Like you have to go out and like I need like 2 hits from them minimum each. Like it's do or die. You can't go down 0-2 at home. Like, and I don't know if they're going to shake things up today. I don't think they will. I don't think it's going to be a huge shakeup.
Cody Clemens season.
I would like to see Cody in there. I don't think it's going to be some big panic switch up because I don't think that would be the right move. I don't think switching the whole lineup and putting 4 other guys in there would be the best thing. Because when it all comes down to it, and I know there's some guys in this lineup that have not had a good year and people are not necessarily very fond of right now, but like your best 8 to 9 guys, they have to be out there, especially when it's down 1-0. So I think a guy like Bryson Stott will probably still be out there. I think Brandon Marsh will probably be out there. I think there's a chance you might see Austin Hayes today.
Yeah.
Get Rojas out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Have Sanchez out there who's sort of been a ground ballish pitcher. So they like Rojas out there with the guys who allow some fly balls. Wheeler, obviously a ton of strikeouts, but he is a pretty heavy fly ball pitcher. So I think that's really why they like Rojas out there. But I think you might see Austin Hayes today. I think they may give Cody a shot. If not Cody, they may look at Sosa, but it is a righty, so I don't think they would look too far into Sosa. But you just got to go out there and hit the crap out of the ball today.
Absolutely. And I do hope that is the case. I'll finish off with my final score prediction here. I think we get a 7-2 Phillies victory today. So that's going to be my shout. I do think the bats come alive. Needs to happen. You cannot afford to drop 0-2. But whatever happens, me and Luke are going to be here every step of the way. Appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into this video here. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you have not already. Drop a like on this video, any comments you have below. And go Phils, man. They better win this one. Talk to you next
Go
time.
Phils.
Peace.